Hi, and welcome back to Ask a Pennsylvania Dutchman. My name is Chris LaRose, and to the right of me we have who you all know, Doug Maidenford, our resident Pennsylvania Dutchman. And to the left of me, we have my good buddy, Mike Merling of Golden Age Motorcycle Clothing. And he's our guest question
We got
today.
a guest question live. Now listen, we're in a different room, but we're in that same house. What was it? The Heidelberg
Hall in Schaefferstown, Pennsylvania. It's the last surviving Second Empire brownstone mansion in the country, and it's in your backyard. And it was built by a Pennsylvania Dutchman. So talk about fancy Dutch.
I can feel it. I can feel it. That, and there's a religious shrine on the other side of the camera.
And it's gorgeous. It probably came from a cathedral in
looking
Italy
right
or
at
something.
Me. Anyway,
you're going to have to come here to see that, which you ought to do. But for now, since we're at this incredible place, we're going to do something we don't often do and have a real live person here for the questions. And Mike, if you don't know the show, people send in questions that they want to have PA Dutch perspective answers to. And it could be anything from twerking to what's that? The shoe fly pie, to red beet eggs, to an albadriches.
any of those.
Anything you want. And we have no idea what he's gonna ask, so it's gonna be something. It'll be really epic.
Well, I'm going to put you up to a real challenge here. I'm going to ask you about powwowing. Not the powwowing like you think of Native American, but Pennsylvania Dutch powwowing, and how that all relates and how that history ties in.
Well, I bet you that happened in this house back in the 1700s.
Oh, I wouldn't.
1800s.
Yeah, this house wasn't built in the 1700s, so it didn't happen in here.
I'm all beside myself. I'm so
you?
excited. I get my dates mixed up.
Well, that's a great question. I don't know if we've done a video on powwowing.
How does nobody say that?
Maybe we did. Remember, we've been doing this for like 7, 8 years now.
Wow.
I don't remember them all. Braucherei, as it's called in Pennsylvania Dutch, powwowing. Yeah. Well, Mike, I'm going to ask you, what do you know about it?
Well, I know it goes back to a holy text that the Amish did. It were incantations.
Oh, the Lange Verbotene Freund.
Yeah. And it was done with the practitioner who was a Brewster. And the ancient text says Grimwalls, from what I've heard. And it is a talismans, and it is healing, and it is a practice that was practiced back in the 18th and 19th century.
Well, I bet you didn't know that, did you?
And, well, I knew a lot of that, but what a lot of people don't realize is that it is still going on. There are still Brauchers out there. I know some guys that are in their 20s that have learned this from.
Wow.
It was the knowledge traditionally is passed from mouth to ear. You are trained by a Braucher who teaches you how to do this stuff, and then your job is to do it, and then also then pass it on to a next generation.
Oh, that's pretty darn neat.
Yeah, that's true. And there are people still doing Braucherei in 2022, 2023 America. It's unbelievable.
Where can I find
Well,
this?
it's not like you can go in the yellow pages and look up a Braucher. At least I don't think the yellow pages even exist anymore. But I don't know if you can Google and say there are guys and women can do it too. It's not just men who. And that's another thing. If I remember correctly, my good friend told me that a man has to teach it to a woman, and a woman has to teach it to a man.
Well,
it can't
ain't
be.
That something?
Yeah, I'm almost certain that's true. Now, there's tons of books written about Braucherei, like the history of it, and with images from what Mike talked about, from like the famous books, the Lang Verbotene Freund, and some of these traditional prayers and incantations that come out of long ago back in the old country, back in Europe too. That's where a lot of this stuff started. But it is a type of healing practice. A lot of people always think it's witchcraft, and there is hexerai and like bad witchcraft. But
in
then
the PA Dutch?
Well, there were. I don't know if that's still going on.
The dark powwow?
Yeah, but real powwow, quote unquote, real powwowing was done as a healing, to heal people. Whether it was I don't do it, but they have I don't want to call it, it's not spells, but there are certain incantations that you would say for like someone that has internal bleeding or warts or a woman that's having trouble getting pregnant. There's tons of these out there, and there are certain things you don't just say the words. There's also like movements that you do with the words.
You gotta throw the salt over your
Well,
shoulders.
yeah, I mean, you think something like that. Like I know one, like to remove a wart, there's an incantation you say, but then you cut a potato in half and you rub the cut potato on the wart. You say the incantation, then I think you have to bury the potato, and as the potato rots and goes away, the wart goes away.
Oh.
These are old ideas, beliefs that we brought. We didn't invent them here in Pennsylvania.
Well,
we
now,
brought
do you
them
have a
with.
copy of the book?
I do. You can get copies of this book, but it's just the words. You know what I mean?
That's
so
fine.
maybe if if you could read the words, but if you don't know what you're supposed to do with the words, maybe it won't work. I don't know.
Well, where's your copy of it, Mike?
No, I had to find it in that special place that's hidden away from the English.
Oh yeah.
Well, Mike,
hidden
let me ask you: do you believe it? Like if you had your arm hurt, and some guy said, "I can fix that for you," and he comes and he puts his hand over the pain and he says some words, would you believe it?
I would believe it if the faith was strong enough to carry me through it.
Okay.
I think I'd believe it. I'm hoping somebody shows up and cures me of this cough. My asthma's got me pretty
Well,
good
the
now.
nice thing about powwows is that you don't have to pay your insurance anything.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe they're allowed to take payment either.
Oh, that's good
'Cause
news.
you're
I wish
using-
all medical stuff
Yeah,
was like
right.
that. Not
I
allowed
think
to take
if
payment,
I
that's-
remember correctly, if they take payment, then they're breaking their oath.
Well, now look
Or
at this.
they're-
Look at
yeah.
this. Look how progressive the PA Dutch were with this.
What?
They would
socialized medicine.
Socialized medicine. They would do it so you don't pay a thing for your health care with the powwowing. They had training each other from man to woman, woman to man. So it was all of society coming together. It was families coming together. They had a book. They had ceremonies together. Talk about the perfect world. The PA Dutch had it figured out hundreds of years ago.
But we got to remember, not every Pennsylvania Dutch family believed in it.
Oh.
And a lot of them actually, well, I don't want to say a lot, but there were a good number of Pennsylvania Dutch families that felt powwowing, brouwerij, that's all a bunch of nonsense. My family, for example, my grandparents on my father's side of the family, I asked them one time, were you ever powwowed, or did you know any? And my grandmother's response right away is, no, that's a bunch of phooey.
Oh.
That we don't believe that stuff. But I know then there are people, and I've talked to people that have been powwowed and swear by it. So
Well, I'd give it a shot.
Yeah, I mean it's.
But I'm very superstitious, so I think.
Well, you're a good Pennsylvania Dutchman if you're superstitious. Mike, are you superstitious?
Yeah, I only go in one door and then come out the same door. That I do.
We did a video not too long ago where Chris swears that when you put your pants on in the morning, which leg
first?
do you go first?
Right.
Yeah, right. Right then left. What about you, Doug?
We had this discussion already. This, I think, was the video that we fell off the table. Do you remember that?
Yeah, we fell off the table, and it's because you put the left leg in
Because I put my left leg in first that day. Okay.
Yeah.
But are you superstitious about it, Mike? Like, you consciously think about that?
Yeah, I do.
He
I
does.
do. I never break the habit of going out of the house without a hat on.
Oh, I don't do that. I do that too. I do that too. Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
That's all right. Well, people out there, what do you know about powwowing? Let us know. Have you been powwowed? Are you a powwower?
Do you wanna?
I know that on social media there are people on Instagram and Facebook that are advertising themselves to, not outright saying, "Hi, I'm Doug Mainford and I do powwow," but you can tell from their posts that they know stuff. Let's just
It's
say
like
that.
the PA Dutch underground.
Well, it is. No, it really is.
Wow.
It really is. You have to.
Looking for a black market powwow.
Well, not black. Yeah, underground.
bootleg powwow
bootleg
ceremony.
powwow ceremony. Yeah.
I like it. Yeah. Search the deep web.
But there's
for it.
in the show notes, I'll put links to some really good academic books that have been written about powwowing, and you can learn more about the actual history of it. And you'll see examples of like the stuff that Mike asked us about, like the Long Verbogene Freund. You can actually buy that on like Amazon.
Well,
They're
now,
copying
wait a minute.
it.
I just
What?
had a thought. We're here in Schaeferstown. Isn't there
Yes.
a museum not far from here?
Right down there.
That specializes in all PA Dutch
Yes,
stuff.
the Brendel Museum.
Well, there we go. You probably have.
Oh, they have
answers
books.
there,
They have
too.
books on powwowing there for sure. Absolutely.
That's pretty darn cool. So right here, Schaefferstown, Pennsylvania, we've got Heidelberg Hall, a PA Dutch-owned Victorian mansion filled with all Victorian stuff, next to probably one of the leading museums in PA Dutch culture in the area.
It's got a great collection. The Brendel Museum is named after Thomas Brendel, very famous Pennsylvania
just
author,
a block away.
who lived right here in Schaefferstown.
Yeah. So right here in your backyard, and if it's not your backyard, it's worth a trip coming to. So. There's my plug for the day.
Let us know in that comment section what you think about powwowing and if you've ever been powwowed. And yeah, we like reading that stuff.
Yes, please send them.
Thank the guy that sent the question in.
Oh yeah. We're not used to this. Usually it's a piece of paper. You don't have to thank that.
Well, I figured I'd come up with a good question that you couldn't answer, and you answered it.
Not
We
stumped
have
again.
never been stumped in 8 years. 8, 9
I don't
years
think.
of
Well,
doing
if we
this,
get a question that we know we can't answer,
I
we don't do
challenge
that
you
question.
to stump us.
The gauntlet has been thrown.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Well, Mike, thanks for that. I appreciate it. That's good.
I think you heard it from the Dutchman.
You tried. Yeah.
We did something for you. So
Till next time.
Till next
Send the
time.
questions in.
and those comments.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe and all that stuff too.
Mhm.
And until next time, Mock's good. Now you gotta say it too.
Do it again.
Mock's-
No, wait. Ready?
Mock's good. Hey, you're a Dutchman yet. I like it. We got one. We got another one.
If you have a question, you have to email us at bustrpa@yahoo.com.